Thank you for joining us for this look at some of the best stories from KPBS News this week. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Coming up, a plan to build more homes in Del Mar has been delayed for years. Now a developer is ready to go to court to gain access to beachfront property. The Great ShakeOut. See how one local classroom participated in a statewide effort to prepare for the next major earthquake. And the campaign to bring the Invictus Games to San Diego. See how the event has made an impact on the lives of adaptive sport athletes. We start in El Cajon, where city council members have no plans to stop sharing license plate surveillance data with out-of-state police departments. Gustavo Solis has more on the debate over how that information is being used, especially when it comes to immigration enforcement.
Ice out of El Cajon! Ice out of El Cajon!
A group of protesters made their voices heard before the city council's regular meeting even started.
No data for ICE! No data for ICE!
They're upset that El Cajon is the only police department in California that shares data from its automated license plate reader system with police agencies outside the state. And a KPBS investigation found that El Cajon's surveillance data has been included in hundreds of immigration-related searches nationwide. Now, the data is not shared directly with federal agencies. Instead, police departments in other states like Texas, Virginia, and Florida conduct the immigration searches. Yet, council members made it clear on Tuesday that the city will continue to share this data outside of California. Councilman Steve Goebel was among those defending the practice, saying this technology has been used to recover stolen vehicles, and it could be used to solve other crimes like child kidnappings.
For that reason, for the protection of children, we will continue to make that data available to law enforcement officials for investigative purposes.
Earlier this month, Attorney General Rob Bonta asked a judge to declare El Cajon's data sharing practice illegal and order them to stop. Mayor Bill Wells says the city will not stop sharing the data until the judge orders them to do so. During the public meeting, Police Chief Jeremiah Larson explained how data collected in El Cajon was included in immigration-related searches, confirming KPBS's findings.
Out of the thousands of networks across the nation, El Cajon is included in that network. They searched nationwide, and El Cajon was included in those searches.
Larson says this technology works because it gives officers access to mass amounts of information.
When you're trying to quickly identify where somebody might be involved in criminal behavior, you want more cameras in more places to be able to quickly identify where that vehicle might be.
Some critics support the use of this technology to find stolen cars and locate missing children, but they do not want outside agencies using it to target immigrant residents.
They are our families, our neighbors, people we work and play with. They have committed no crime.
A hearing for the Attorney General's lawsuit has yet to be scheduled. Gustavo Solis, KPBS News.
Now a fight over beachfront property in Del Mar. For years, the North County City has debated over how to build more housing. Now a developer plans to sue to move one plan forward. KPBS North County reporter Alexander Nguyen has reaction from this city.
The proposed housing project will be built here on this bluff above Del Mar's Dog Beach. The project is called Seaside Ridge, and it's been stuck in legal maneuvering since 2022. Darren Puccio is the spokesperson for the project.
It was 3 years ago today that we submitted our project application to the city of Del Mar. Unfortunately, despite our best effort, the city, which doesn't have any low-income housing and none in the pipeline, has continued to fight this project.
The city had deemed the project's application incomplete. Del Mar Mayor Terry Gastelum says it was missing key environmental reports.
The planning department had determined that it was not complete because it lacked certain materials that were needed in order to comply with the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA, and the Coastal Act.
Seaside Ridge sued, saying the project qualifies for a builder's remedy, which means less red tape to get the project approved.
We've submitted everything that we believe is required under the builder's remedy law. We are in full compliance with the application.
A builder's remedy allows a developer to bypass local zoning laws to build a housing project with an affordable housing component. This is the place where they want to build 259 apartment units with 42 units that are low income. Earlier this summer, a judge dismissed the case, saying developers need to exhaust all administrative options at the city level first. Seaside Ridge then appealed to the city council, which denied the appeal last month.
We unanimously determined that the planning department had determined correctly that it was incomplete.
Seaside Ridge now plans to sue, and Pacho says the law is on their side.
In La Cañada Flint Ridge in northern LA, they went to court over that. The developer took the city to court. The developer was successful.
Pacho says they have 90 days to file the lawsuit. Alexander Nguyen, KPBS News.
A new study links wildfire smoke to more people visiting local emergency rooms and more deaths. KPBS environment reporter Tammy Murga says climate change will make the problem worse.
Layers of smoke cover the afternoon sky above the Otay Wilderness area in January. The border to wildfire was growing quickly. It worried one of Dr. Rajat Zuri's patients, who has asthma. She didn't live in an evacuation zone, but it was
close enough that her health was threatened.
Zuri is her pulmonologist at UC San Diego. He says people with respiratory conditions like asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD, know smoke is dangerous for them.
That she would just immediately pack up and drive a few hours to stay with family until the fire would end. And just like how disruptive that is to folks on a day-to-day basis that are living with severe COPD or asthma.
Parts of California are experiencing fire conditions twice as often as they did more than 50 years ago, and the risk is expected to worsen as the climate changes. Zuri is concerned about how that will impact his patients and the system that cares for them.
It's going to be a reality that we're going to have to plan for it to actually be able to accommodate patients in those regards.
A new study shows how wildfire smoke may lead to hundreds more deaths each year in San Diego County by 2050. Carlos Gold is a co-author of the study and an assistant professor at UC San Diego. He says a pressing question for many is
understanding the expected health impacts from wildfire activity now and in the future.
He says San Diego County could experience up to 590 excess deaths per year by 2050. That's about 400 more deaths a year than today.
Even though we have relatively little smoke, when we are exposed, we do face health consequences.
Marshall Burke is another co-author of the study and a professor at Stanford University. He says San Diego has less smoke than other parts of California because
San Diego, in some sense, is in a lucky spot. It's by the coast, and a lot of times the wind blows from the coast inland.
He says fire is not new to San Diego.
But in terms of smoke exposure, San Diego has gotten away with a bit less exposure than many other parts of California.
But when wildfire smoke increases, like it did in 2007 and 2020, so do asthma rates and deaths. Burke helped create an interactive map that illustrates that data. He looks at the map for 2020 in San Diego County.
But this is really trying to measure, okay, we're getting more and more extreme days. On the really bad days, what's likely happening?
It shows how many extra people went to the emergency room.
And there we get a 60% increase on the single worst day.
Wildfires can expose people to toxic microscopic particles known as fine particulate matter for days or even weeks.
These are really, really small particles. 1/30th the width of a human hair is the way we think about it.
These particles can get deep into your lungs, enter your bloodstream, and have a cascading effect on your health.
And what we know about these various pollutants is that exposure to them can lead to increased risk of cardiovascular disease, specifically with coronary artery disease, worse outcomes with COPD.
Researchers say there's an urgent need for wildfire smoke adaptation. That could include prescribed burns to keep dry brush from becoming fuel for future fires. The study shows these worst-case scenarios can happen if the world warms even just 2 degrees Celsius more. Gold says their findings are forecasts.
So they aren't telling the future. We have a role in shaping our own future.
Tammy Murga, KPBS News.
And wildfires aren't the only natural disasters we have to prepare for in Southern California. Knowing what to do during an earthquake is also important, and it is a lesson that's being taught at an early age. KPBS education reporter Katie Anastas was at Horton Elementary School for the annual Great ShakeOut earthquake drill.
An earthquake has occurred. Expect aftershocks.
The ground isn't shaking, but if it were, these fourth graders would know exactly what to do.
Lace your fingers behind your head, protect your neck, super quiet.
Schools and workplaces across the state participate in the Great ShakeOut every year. It's a statewide earthquake drill, and fourth grader Genesis de la Cruz Lopez was ready.
I've been doing this since kindergarten and first grade. They always told us to go under our desk quietly and do this position to cover our head.
Drills can be scary, especially for younger students. Lopez says it's gotten better with practice.
I used to be scared a lot when I was little, but I got used to it, so I started getting calmer and calmer during the years.
Her teacher, Winnie Gonzalez, was in class during April's 5.2 magnitude earthquake. She told her students to do what they'd practiced and take cover under their desks.
They were calm, and after a couple seconds some tears started coming, but they did exactly what they were supposed to do. So that shows you how practice is so important.
70% of Californians live within 20 miles of an active fault. That's according to Ahmed Albana. He's an earth sciences professor at the University of Southern California.
For the next 30 years, there's almost certainty to get an earthquake of larger than 6.7, right? Almost 99%. Every day that passes in California without this big earthquake happening is a gift and a blessing and an opportunity to prepare.
The current security situation has been resolved. Please resume normal activities.
After taking cover, Horton Elementary students evacuated to the blacktop. They made it from their classrooms to the blacktop in just 3 minutes. The principal says it's a new record. Lopez's assessment:
I did good, and so did my classmates. And I actually felt a little proud of myself.
Proud that she and her classmates followed instructions and stayed safe. Katie Anastas, KPBS News.
KPBS will have special coverage on Saturday of the latest No Kings March. Updates can be found at kpbs.org. Here are other stories that are popular with our online audience this week. Delivery of San Diego's new high-tech trash bins has begun. We'll have that story a little bit later. The San Diego County Fair announces next year's theme with a nod to the joys of reading. And a fact check: I-5 will not be closing for the Marine Corps' 250th birthday celebration. Here is that story from Jacob Ayer.
The Marine Corps says this Saturday's celebration will include a live fire demonstration of amphibious capabilities at Camp Pendleton's Red Beach. Rumors of road closures started yesterday after the media outlet Midas Touch claimed the White House will shut down portions of the I-5 for the event, and that Trump may launch missiles from warships into California this Friday and Saturday. Governor Newsom's office replied on social media platform X shortly after, saying this would be an absurd show of force and totally uncalled for during a government shutdown when members of the military cannot even get a paycheck. Newsom later posted again from his personal X account about the report. The Marines later released a statement yesterday evening to clarify the situation. They said no public highways or transportation routes will be closed. They also said all training events will occur on approved training ranges and comport with established safety protocols. This morning, following the Marine Corps press release, Newsom's office posted once again on X. They said we're relieved the White House backed off its plan to shut down a major interstate. Now that the I-5 will stay open, we hope the Trump administration applies the same common sense to reopening the federal government. In an emailed statement, Vice Presidential Press Secretary Taylor Van Kirk said, Governor Newsom is spreading fake news to Californians to fearmonger and score cheap political points. Vice President Vance is eager to be in California on Saturday to celebrate the Marine Corps' 250th birthday. KPBS reached out to the California Department of Transportation about the claimed I-5 closures. Caltrans Public Affairs Chief Chris Clark said, "We were informed of potential plans and cautioned against it. We're glad they made the right decision," he said about the federal government. North County Transit District says they have also been following the situation. NCTD is monitoring the logistics surrounding the vice president's visit and is coordinating with relevant stakeholders. At this time, NCTD's services are not impacted, said the organization's Mary Dover in a statement. The Marines say the demonstration at Red Beach will be followed by a community celebration at Del Mar Beach. Jacob Ayer, KPBS News.
This weekend, thousands of healthcare workers will wrap up a 5-day strike. They work at local Kaiser Permanente facilities. KPBS health reporter Heidi DeMarco says nurses, pharmacists, and other frontline staff are demanding safe staffing and fair pay.
Outside Kaiser Permanente's San Diego Medical Center, union nurses and health professionals line the sidewalks, bracing against the wind, signs in hand.
So it doesn't matter whether we're pharmacists, nurses, physical therapists, dietitians, we all have one goal, and our goal is to take care of our patients and to do it safely.
Kaiser pharmacist Neda Mogadem says that means having enough staff and support.
We ask for training. We ask for bodies. Pizza parties don't do it. That's not what we want. We need the support to be able to make sure our patients are safe.
She says now is the time to fight. Because 4 years ago,
everybody was burnt out from COVID and nobody had the strength or the capacity or the energy to fight for a fair contract.
An estimated 2,000 San Diego Kaiser workers are on strike. They're part of a larger 31,000-member walkout happening across California, Hawaii, and Oregon. The union says the strike isn't just about pay or staffing. They're also pushing for better retirement security and benefits, and say Kaiser's perks don't fully make up for years of stagnant pay.
We see how sick the patients are. We want to make sure that they get the best care, and unfortunately, we're not getting the support that we need to do our jobs effectively.
Kaiser says its latest proposal balances fair pay with keeping costs manageable for patients. It's bringing in temporary licensed staff to maintain care and calls the strike unnecessary and disruptive. But for Mogadem, standing on the picket line and watching her colleagues rally alongside her, this week is about the one goal they all share.
Taking care of the people that really need to be taken care of, and those are the patients that walk in every day in every hospital, every clinic, every OR room.
The strike is scheduled to run through Sunday. Both sides say they're continuing negotiations. Heidi DeMarco, KPBS News.
A small group of veterans and local boosters are working to get the 2029 Invictus Games to San Diego. This summer, they made the final 6. KPBS military and veterans reporter Andrew Dyer has more on what the Games mean to these athletes.
It's a Wednesday afternoon and a group is playing wheelchair basketball in City Heights. One of the players is Anthony Pone. He was always a basketball player, but years ago, he lost his right leg in a car accident. The Army veteran thought his sports career was over. That's when he found wheelchair basketball.
I thought that the game was over for me. But when I started to play again, it was like, okay, there's a sport. Okay, it's just as competitive, if not more.
Such is the power of sports for people living with disabilities. Prince Harry of Great Britain saw this for himself after deploying to Afghanistan more than a decade ago. In 2014, he launched the Invictus Games. Veterans with disabilities from around the globe compete in what's become a biennial adaptive sport competition. San Diego has its own bid to host the Games in 2029.
I think we've got a pretty strong bid.
Andy Solar represents the British American Business Association and is the co-chair of San Diego's bid committee. He says the response to the bid has been good.
It's definitely been the most humbling experience of my life. Everywhere we've gone, we've just been met with positivity, with people that want to do whatever they can to bring the Games to San Diego.
Giselle Rama is one of the veteran athletes working to bring the Games.
Adaptive sports has changed my life. It's given me a community. It's given me, a place to be myself and feel normal.
We met Rama in City Heights with her service dog, Hugo. 5 years ago, she was a sailor on the guided missile destroyer USS Fitzgerald. In 2020, her ship was docked across the pier from the USS Bonhomme Richard when it caught fire.
We were actually responding to the fire. I happened to be outside during the second blast where the force of the blast, threw me back onto the deck of my ship.
Rama's injuries were severe, and she was medically retired from the Navy. Since then, she participated in the Warrior Games, the Defense Department's adaptive sports competition. That earned her a spot on Team USA for this year's Invictus Games in Vancouver.
The secret sauce of the Invictus Games is really hard to, it's easy to describe, but you just have to be there. You have to be there, you have to experience it. And that everyone who's been doing the Invictus Games has seen the Invictus Games, experienced the Invictus Games. It's very impactful, it's life-changing to them.
I'll tell you right off the top, I've had many wounded, ill, and injured service members and veterans say to me after we've developed a relationship and trust that our tennis program has saved their lives.
Steve Kappas is the director of the San Diego Wounded Warrior Tennis Program. We caught up with him at the University of San Diego during a college tennis tournament. The retired Navy captain says he's seen firsthand what these sports programs do for veterans.
It will shine a very bright light on the whole world of adaptive sports, and certainly with a specific focus on the military population. I think it's going to help our community in general understand a lot more about what adaptive sports are about.
Pone says hosting the games would mean more opportunities for him to give back.
I'm happy that I'm alive because there's an alternative, and I almost met that alternative during my car accident. So every day I'm alive, I breathe deep, and if I see somebody in a position just like me, it's all about sharing my experiences and hope they're motivated by them so they can get on their journey as well.
San Diego isn't a shoo-in to host the games. Other finalists are Denmark, Nigeria, Italy, South Korea, and Ukraine. Solar says the bid needs community commitment and financial commitment to make it to the final two cities in December. The 2029 host city will be announced next summer. Andrew Dyer, KPBS News.
San Diego began rolling out new trash bins this week. It's part of the city's efforts to start charging for trash collection. Matthew Bowler got a look at the high-tech receptacles.
We are standing in my district, but this week's inaugural rollout of bins is happening in neighborhoods across the city.
San Diego City Council President Joe LaCava was in La Jolla showing off the first set of new trash bins for San Diegans. LaCava says the passing of Measure B and charging San Diegans for trash collection is what made getting the new bins possible.
This is the first on-the-ground step as we modernize collection, improve and increase city services, and make sure we are using 21st century methods to track our work and ensure we only collect from those that are qualified.
225,000 San Diego households are eligible for the new bins, according to the city. The city says that 3/4 of trash cans currently in use are more than 20 years old, and the new cans have more features making collection safer and easier. Kirby Brady from Environmental Services shows off some of the new bins. They have better signage, are easier to write your address on, and they have radio frequency identification, or RFID chips, hidden in the handle.
There is the scannable tag that we talk about, the RFID. That's actually located, it's hidden inside of the handle.
RFID chips will make it possible for trash trucks to scan and confirm the correct can is at the correct house. The new bins are being handed out today. If you want to see when your new trash bin is scheduled to arrive, go to sandiego.gov/trash.
Deliveries will happen on residents' regular trash collection days, and our crews will remove the old black containers that same day.
And the old bins won't go to waste. They are being recycled into the new bins,
helping ensure that we close the loop on sustainability.
Matthew Bowler, KPBS News.
And we want to let you know about our first author event for the 2025 One Book, One San Diego campaign. This coming Tuesday, October 21st, KPBS will host a Q&A with National Book Award-winning author James McBride. It's happening at the Belly Up Tavern in Solana Beach, and it's free. You'll need to register in advance. We have more details on the event and this year's One Book selections at kpbs.org. After street closure permits were canceled last minute, the North Park Book Fair comes back this Saturday in pop-up form. KPBS arts reporter Julia Dixon-Evans says the switch rallied the creative community.
A beloved neighborhood book fair that was nearly called off gave a local cidery a chance to fulfill a vision, becoming a true third place.
I always told my friends, like, I wanted them to write a book here, or I hope somebody writes the next great screenplay.
Bivouac Cider Works owner Lara Worm first heard that the North Park Book Fair was in jeopardy from her sister, an author. Instead of seeing thousands of book lovers left stranded due to construction and permit issues, she offered up the Bivouac Adventure Lodge space on 30th Street.
The whole key of the space is to be like a community center space. Of course, we're a cider bar and we have a coffee shop and we sell food and we, sell cider to go. My real focus was get people to slow down a little bit, get to know their neighbors, and have organic conversations with people that they might not hang out with in a different place or in a different time.
On its new date, the mini version of the fair, dubbed Taste of the Book Fair, is spread across 3 spots in North Park. Authors at Bivouac, artists and crafters at Verbatim Books, and zine makers and booksellers at the Bargain Center parking lot. Worm says North Park is a creative, collaborative neighborhood, and she sees her space in this book fair as a way to capture and celebrate that spirit.
I think you see it in a lot of other great cities in the world where there are third places or city centers or cafes or plazas where artists are going, where kids are going, where dogs are going. But we don't have that a ton in San Diego.
The book fair takes place Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Julia Dixon-Evans, KPBS News.
Julia Dixon-Evans also hosts the KPBS podcast, The Finest. It captures the people, art, and movements, redefining our region's cultural identity. And this week's episode features an interview and performance from local band Slacker. You can listen now at kpbs.org/thefinest, or you can subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We hope that you enjoyed this look at KPBS News this week. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Thank you for joining us.